Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack, and today we are building a custom modular build. Specifically, this is called Commercial Pack 2 by Jason Lyles. We purchased the instructions online and ordered all 2,600 something parts for this build. It's going to be a series of different restaurants and stuff, a modular build that is going to fit into our city, and it looked so good that I went ahead and I bought all the parts. So there's a ton of pieces on the table, did my best to organize them, and basically have no other space left. So hopefully I can clear it out and get the whole thing put onto this base plate. So let's get started. All right, so 2,600 some odd pieces and 9.5 hours later, here is the commercial pack, or really it is the Japanese restaurant and board shop. I can say that I'm really happy with the way this build looks. You can probably tell by the way it's rotating around that there isn't a whole lot to really look at in terms of the back and especially the sides. But for a modular build like this, it really is all about the front, and it looks really awesome. So if you couldn't tell from before, the Japanese restaurant would be on the left and the board shop on the right, and above the two second floors are pretty much both kind of the same storage floor. The main bits of detailing that I think look the best on the outside are the roof. And by that, I mean the Japanese style sort of clay tile roofing that we have going on here. They look a little bit uneven around the edges, and that's because we've got some tubing pieces that are keeping all of these round pieces together. So in the future, I might sort of try to bend them into a little bit more of a symmetrical shape. But at the end of the day, I think the roof looks pretty excellent, especially from afar. Another excellent highlight for me is the light post in the front. The two transparent window panes that are clipped on sort of offset in the top really make for a nice covering around the light. I like the pink blossoms. They're kind of reminiscent of cherry blossoms, though I don't think they would be cherries in this case. And I think this is just one of the many examples of some very clever building techniques that were employed in this build. The next most striking features, I think, are the front of the board shop. I really like those two boards that stick out from the top there. They're actually attached in a really clever way with some pistol pieces and minifigure hands, believe it or not. For such an unconventional connection, it works surprisingly well. I'll show you closer a little bit later down the line. And the minifigure with the surfboard in the front display window looks really great. I'll just point out some of the other really good details very quickly. This is the front sign of the Japanese restaurant, kind of the most delicate part of the build, I would say. Do not touch that sign. The connection point is extremely weak. Right above there, we've got some simple windowsills with, I think, an above average build for the plants. Here's a planter box with some flowers. Not a bad little build. And just on the other side is a drainage pipe that goes all the way up. I like those dark gray bricks. Hey yo, now we're looking at the back. It's very simple. I mean, there's some simple windows and a little stairwell. Here's some boxes. I like that one that's upturned a little bit on its side. This is a close-up of the looping ladder piece that hits the top of the roof there. All right, and here is the roof. We've got a few different parts of the roof that look kind of nice. Up on the top, there's a little area for some lounge chairs and a grill. And other than that, the side with the Japanese restaurant just has a build for a little ventilator. And let's jump on into the actual build. And I'm also going to show the bottom floor first because that is immensely more interesting than the second floor. And why not start off with the Japanese restaurant? So unfortunately, the walls are super high and I really have to lift this in at kind of awkward angles, but you can see there are two tables with two chairs each, some vases with water in there, and I'm trying to show you that is the aqua tank in the back. There's a big aquarium, couple of fish. One is on the roof there, which I like. That is kind of a nice sort of section for the build. And it's actually a relatively clever and nice looking piece to have inside the restaurant. Now I've kind of tilted it so you can see what the back of the sign looks like. I like this sort of back and forth postage with the golden rice hat there. That is actually a bit of clever building. It does make repairing the sign a little bit difficult. Now there is a dragon print on that. It's supposed to be a painting on the inside of the restaurant. It looks great. Unfortunately, you can't see it particularly well. Well, on its side there you can. And actually we can move back just a little bit, and that is the extremely narrow kitchen. It's fully furnished. There's lots of pots and pans. There's a sink, a stove, some cabinets, even a refrigerator. It's really well fleshed out, but just in a tiny little gray, boring slot with high walls. Not the most accessible little bit of building, but it works well enough. And of course, yes, behind that is the stairwell that leads to the second floor, but we're not going to check that out. We're also going to check out the board shop. And by the board shop, I really do mean the board shop. They sell snowboards, surfboards, and skateboards. Now I just cut over because actually I realized there wasn't surfboard or a skateboard. I don't know. I was missing a couple of things here. But anyways, here is the shop. It is totally cluttered. I love a lot of the little details. We've got some boards up on the wall. One should actually be a snowboard. I ran out of snowboard, so there's another surfboard up there. But we've also got some other surfboards on the rack and something that I've never seen before, but there's actually a sunglass rack, which is the first time I've ever seen that in a Lego build. They're the goggle pieces that normally fit around helmets, but they're for sale on a rack. They're detached from the helmets. That's a great touch. I like these overhead lights that are hanging above the register. Those are little rubber bands that kind of are supposed to make it look like those lights are kind of hanging, dangling from some sort of cords, which is a cool little fun touch actually. And here is just a better look at some of those spare surfboards for sale. Everything is clipped in nice and tight here. Nothing is rattling around in any way, shape, or form. And by the way, this is the front billboard sign again. Yeah, you have a closer look at how those minifig hands stick into the wall. Right, there is the front again with the swimsuit, or the wetsuit, forgive me, and another surfboard. And all right, with that, I think we've actually checked out everything down below. Let's check out the storage units on the second floor. We are looking at what is above the board shop. There's a pretty nice desk. Actually, I like that tinted bit of tile work on there. Makes it look sort of like a glass desk. You can see a water cooler and then two different stacks of boxes. Who knows what's inside the boxes? They're white, they're tan. They're actually kind of annoying to build those racks. I think they look good. They actually look very similar to the racks that we have in the backdrop of our studio. Or I mean, I feel like they sort of remind me of what our racks sort of look like there. Anyways, it's okay for an interior. I am kind of disappointed though that the second floor also looks pretty much the same. The only thing that changes is the desk, the chair, and I guess the arrangement on the boxes for the racks are slightly different. And guess what? With that, we are in our Lego city, and I'm filling up the gaping hole with this brand new modular build. And this is the beauty of having a modular city. You just move some stuff around and you can slide it right in. And without too much trouble, the Parisian restaurant now has some competition with some Japanese food. At the end of the day, I'm really happy with the way this modular build turned out. There's a lot of great details. I think it looks excellent among the other builds that we have in the city. As you can see, it doesn't really matter so much that the back isn't fleshed out in any spectacular fashion. And heck, even at the moment, I like it next to the Palace Cinema with the similar kind of roof style and stuff like that. So anyways, this is the custom MOC that we ordered online. There's a few other designs from a similar fashion along the way in the near future, and some original designs as well. As always, if you enjoy our content, I hope you subscribe or like the video. And thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time at BrickVault.